Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and as many of you know, I am a real and normal person, and many of the clients I work with as an interior designer also are. And when they come to me for kitchen updates, these are some of the top things they overlook. They think they need to do bigger work and go more extreme, but these changes are what I always see, some of them big, some of them small, that make the biggest difference. Now, the first major change you can make without making a major change is all about the doors or the door style. Everybody thinks that they have to redo the doors on their cabinets because they're so dated and they're so bad or whatever. And door profile styles are very trend driven. And so, we had the Tuscan style that were very ornate in French country. And then you had, the shaker that's, the shaker's been like, having everybody's hold for like 10 years. And then now we have the slim rail. All of those are great. But the thing is, the color ages your cabinets more than the door style does. And I think that's the biggest change you could make. Instead of saying, I have to redo all of the doors on my cabinets, maybe we look at just having them refinished or painted or restained. All of those are really good things to think about, because if you have a Tuscan kitchen, for example, the doors tend to be a little bit more ornate, or they read as being a little colonial. I think colonial is probably the most popular home style built in the United States in the last 20 years. So most of the kitchens I see are either like a mix of colonial or Tuscan or something, where the door styles are just a little bit more ornate. And I think that's okay, because there's many styles that works with. If you want to embrace a little bit of that traditional design, those door styles work for you fine. And if I actually have a client who we're redoing her kitchen, and we went back and forth on all of these different things she could do, and she wanted contemporary and she wanted Parisian chic, but then she liked the chateau style. And we ended up deciding on adding some more modern details, but then doing the cabinetry in a more traditional door style, because it just works for the style. It blends in seamlessly with the style of her home and everything that we're aiming to achieve with this space. So that's a really good thing to look at, just repainting or restaining the cabinetry, because it's probably not as bad as you think it is. And the older it is, the better quality it tends to be. So just refinishing it is better than having to replace all of the doors. And the reason I'm going on about this and saying it is because replacing all of the doors on your kitchen cabinetry, it's expensive. That has to be done custom, because not everybody makes the same size standard door or whatever. And it's a big pill to swallow. It's expensive. But repainting, have a professional out to do it. Spend the money on it. It's still going to be cheaper than replacing all of the doors on the cabinets. And I think that's a really good thing. You can also kind of customize things or change them a little bit. Maybe you move the placement of the hardware on them, or maybe you do decide to replace the doors and you go for oversized ones instead of partial overlay or whatever. There's all sorts of things to look at, but just repainting, I find usually the color of cabinetry is the biggest issue. And we previously liked really warm tones, I like an off-white, like a warm tone white. I think that's beautiful. I think it's great. It's super timeless and classic. But previously we liked more of a cream, a yellow tone, and that looks a little old. It just looks old. It looks like somebody was smoking in the house and stained all of the white to this yellow color. I don't like that. So I would look at painting whatever that is, something fresher, something brighter or newer. Now, when you are picking a color scheme for your kitchen, one of the things I recommend is starting with the stone. I love beautiful stone. Go to the stone yard, look at everything they have. I said it in another video and it resonated with so many people. I was like, a stone yard is like a museum to me. I would rather go to a stone yard than walk around and look at paintings. That is artwork to me. It's incredible. Go and get, your little coffee and go to the stone yard and just have a look around, walk through there, get inspired, inspiration. I love that. But when you find great stone, if you really are attached to something and you're like, this is what the new countertop is gonna be, we can pull all of those colors out to decide on cabinetry, flooring, wall colors. We can do 2 tones, 3 tones, whatever. We can take inspiration from that material to then apply it into the kitchen. It makes it a lot easier to choose colors when you are in that situation. Now, stone and countertops are a big factor in updating your kitchen, and that can be something that ages or dates your kitchen a little bit depending on what you choose. But in my opinion, it's really the details surrounding that material that make the biggest difference. Now, the biggest trend in kitchen design right now, I would say that is the most timeless new thing you could do. It's not new, it's been around for a while, is a slab backsplash. It used to just be in rich people's houses. Like, let's just call it what it is. It's expensive. Having the stone slab on your backsplash is really great. A big trend for backsplashes right now. And I love that. It's something I recommend all of the time if we have a lot of other detail going on. Like if I have a client that really loves a bright, fun, vibrant color, I'm gonna say, let's do a neutral countertop, take it up the backsplash, and then let's have fun with accessories, appliances, the knife set that's on the countertop or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can have a lot of fun in those areas as opposed to committing to something that's really strong for a backsplash like tile. Not that I'm opposed to tile. I personally like something that's a little bit more neutral that has really good flow. So I'll pull the majority tone out of the countertop and then take that onto the backsplash for tile. That way it just has the feeling that it flows from the flat surface up the wall. I like that. It feels very consistent, very luxurious. It feels very expensive, but it's also very timeless. There are lots of things you can do for your backsplash, but it's all about finding something that is timeless and that doesn't distract from everything else. A lot of people think a backsplash is a great accent place, and I would say that it can be, but I'm looking to accent colors that are already in this space and the built-in elements. I don't want it to be like everything is neutral and cream and brown and beige, and then I'm like, you know what would be a great accent color? Teal. Okay, yeah, like it's an accent color, great, but like that's an accent color for furniture. That's not an accent color to build into your backsplash, because when you get tired of teal, and you will, what are you gonna do? Because now you have a teal backsplash. You're gonna rip it all out and put something else in, or you're gonna just deal with it and it's gonna look out of place. It's about pulling back a little bit, pull that splash back off, and then do something that's elevated, chic, and sophisticated for the backsplash. I know that's kind of a difficult thing to say, like, just pick something that's chic, because not everybody has an eye for it, and sometimes you have so many options available to you that you get overwhelmed. I, as a designer, offer my services to my clients, and you could book a one-on-one consultation with me to get some of those more difficult questions answered, and we can go from there. We can elevate, we can do something really beautiful that has that designer refinement you might be missing or looking for, or you might just be second guessing yourself. A lot of times that's what my clients need. They just need that voice of reason to say, like, here's what's good about that, here's what's bad about that. And I will say that many of my clients come to me because I'm very good at working with what's existing in their space, especially if they don't have big budgets to gut everything out and start from scratch. So if you're interested in having a designer's opinion, you could always book a one-on-one call with me using the link in the description box down below, or going to intro.co/GarrettLeChic. Another big change you can make to your kitchen that sometimes gets overlooked or people don't understand the importance of in a space is the hardware. I love great hardware in a kitchen, and you can do so much with the hardware. You can completely update and make your kitchen look modern with it. Or you can do the opposite. If you're going really modern on things, you can pull that back a little bit and make a reference to something more traditional. And I think that is what's so exciting about hardware. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that when you're changing hardware, it gets screwed in. There are holes put into the cabinetry, so you're kind of committed to it. And unless you're repainting and you're having the holes patched and everything, you're looking for the same sized hardware you already have, which is totally fine and okay. This is the jewelry of the space, and we really have an opportunity to define the style. And I would take hardware and expand on that further than just like the knobs and pulls on your cabinet doors. Like, put pulls on drawers, knobs on doors, and it's gonna look elegant, elevated, chic, modern, great. But you can take that hardware and apply it to faucets and fixtures and lighting. That's a great place to add in hardware and make those reference points. Anything that is metallic in your kitchen is hardware. So let's work on incorporating that, and how do we make that work for you? I would say if you have stainless steel appliances, which is very standard, like that's fine, that's one hardware. What are we doing outside of that? I have one client, we're doing iron outside of that because she wants more of a Spanish style. A lot of my clients really love brass because it's just very on trend, but it has a traditional reference point that feels really good. Those are things you want to look for, but it's really the style of hardware that sets the stage. It's always safe to look for hardware that's the style of like a English cottage vibe. If you're looking for that traditional feel, that's perfect and simple. But if you want something modern, look for something that has refined lines, that's a little bit more simplistic. You can even do an edge pull, which is literally just like an L-shaped bracket almost that goes on your cabinet doors, and you just like can touch it and open. So chic and elevated. I'm not the biggest fan of like touch to close, like where there's no hardware, it's just like pressure kind of thing. I don't like that. It's giving a little bit of like box store. It's giving a little like a furniture piece. I also don't want people touching the cabinets because I know that's where they're gonna mess them up. That's the whole point of hardware, to protect the cabinets. So that's my take on it. Hardware is a really good place to update your kitchen though, and you can do that really easily by looking for hardware that has the same hole spacing as what you already have. And it may be worth changing out the hinges on your cabinet doors if you're keeping the existing cabinets you have to something soft close. It's 2025, like we don't need to be slamming cabinetry in this house. Okay, the children may have an attitude, but they're not gonna expose that to me with the slamming of the cabinet doors. Soft close hinges, elegant, elevated, modern, and chic. Aren't they, Arden? Hello, hello, what? Would you like to come and say something to the people? Come here. Not that you can see them. He doesn't know that you're in the room with me. If you were here, he would be all over you trying to get pets and loves and hugs and kisses. And if we were, you know, sitting here sipping on a little coffee or something, he'd be trying to steal your little snack or whatever you had. That's the thing about Arden. He has zero respect when it comes to food. He will fully snatch something off of your plate behind your back. And he's fine with it. He don't even care. Do you have something you'd like to tell everyone, Arden? What was that? Everyone should take a moment and hit that subscribe button. We love to hang out with you, and we always hang out at least twice a week. So be sure you join us, hit that subscribe button, become a part of our GarrettLeChic family. I would also greatly appreciate if you gave this video a like. 1 like equals 1 little kiss for Arden, so be sure you give us some. That's right. Okay, I'm gonna let you go because we have got some more things we have to talk about, don't we, Arden? Here's another area I often talk about, but is a more simple change than a lot of people realize that definitely helps out their kitchen and elevates it in. One of the biggest and most impactful changes you can make in your kitchen is all about the top of the cabinetry and how it interacts, let's say, with the ceiling. I love cabinetry that extends to the ceiling, but that's not always in everyone's budget. Sometimes you're using like a store-bought cabinetry that's, you know, prefabricated, and the sizing just doesn't align with the shape or size of your kitchen, and you can't do that. Totally okay. I love recommending to have a soffit installed above. And I know a lot of people are like, soffits? No, we were ripping them out. They're horrible. They're not that bad. Okay, like they're not that bad, and I would rather see a beautiful, simple, and clean soffit instead of seeing a big gap of space. So if you're doing an update, if you have to repaint, if you have to restain your kitchen, or if you are just looking to make that really big, impactful moment, adding in a soffit above your existing cabinetry is a really good way to do that. And it doesn't have to be like drywall and all of this. Definitely have a contractor out. Not everybody is handy enough to do this, so I recommend having a contractor do it, and have just like paneling almost put above the cabinetry, and then add a little detail to it. Maybe it's some additional trim work, maybe you do a board and batten style trim, or you know, an applied molding style trim onto that soffit above. That'll really clean up the kitchen. It heightens it, it makes it look more built in, more elegant, more substantial, and just really built in, really customized. The takeaway I want you to get from this is that soffits make your kitchen look more substantial, more built in. Yes, they make it more luxurious, but they also eliminate a place that you have to dust. Doing that is an easy way to make your kitchen look revamped, refreshed, and new. It's also worth looking into something with your vent hood, be it putting something that's a little bit larger, more statement-like, moving that microwave somewhere else. Enhancing the upper portion of your kitchen is a great place to make a big change that doesn't require a major renovation. Okay, I'm back. Sorry if there's a change in lighting or anything. I just got off a call with a client, a last minute booking came in, and of course I said yes to it because I love to meet with you guys. She was so kind and so lovely, and I can genuinely say that we have created such a beautiful community of design lovers who are passionate, who are interested, who love something unique and different, have personal style, but also are just so genuinely kind. It brings me so much joy getting to actually meet with you that, you know, if you see me out and about, come and say hello to me, because I love having a chat with you and getting to meet with you all face to face or virtually face to face. Now, let's get back to the kitchen video, because the next thing we have to talk about, and a way you can really make a big impact in a kitchen without doing a major renovation, is actually all about your island. You know, a lot of builders today, or new home builders, they are just gonna put something in there that is functional, that works, and that is good enough quality that it'll last past the warranty period. But we're not shading anyone in this video. But that doesn't always mean it's got the best design to it. And you usually see that with like really high-end luxury home builders, but we're not all buying multi-million-dollar homes as much as we want to. That's just not everyone's reality, and that's okay. Doing something to upgrade your island is always a good idea. Do you want to come and sit in my lap? Okay, somebody doesn't want to be on the floor right now or sit on the sofa. He wants to sit with me here. So doing something to upgrade your island is a great way you can make a big statement and make a quality change. You can make a real impactful difference. And there's a lot of things you could do. One is just, if you have a basic wood island, wrap it in something. That's always an interesting way to upgrade it. And I think it also depends on your style. If you really like something modern, contemporary, maybe you look at doing a waterfall edge on the countertop with a feature detail behind where everyone is sitting. Great idea. You could do stained wood there. That's beautiful. If you have more of a transitional style and you like something that maybe has some of those contemporary features, but also a little bit of traditional design, maybe you can bump out or create an extension on the sides of the island, keeping the existing countertop just for a little bit more of a built-in feature to create more of a corralled area where the bar stools or people can sit and enjoy that island. That's a really good idea too. You could panel the whole thing. And like I said, okay, you're going down, Arden. He doesn't know what he wants to do. He's all riled up. But sometimes you come up with creative solutions depending on your space. And a lot of it comes from Googling, seeing what's out there, what other people have done, and then moving forward with that. And you know, a lot of islands and people's homes, they're just weird shaped. They're just weird shaped. And so sometimes people want to redo them and do something that's just normal, right? And on an island where people are sitting, okay, big takeaway here, it will get scuffed, it will get marked, it will get a little bit messed up. So use a very high quality paint on that to get a really good, strong finish that is wipeable and cleanable, so that you can always keep it looking fresh and beautiful and not like it's banged up, messed up, damaged, because that also is gonna just make it look old and look a little bit worn out. So using a quality material there is always a good thing to think about. Now, some of these are simple updates you could do to your kitchen, and some of them require a little bit more work. Regardless of that, they'll definitely make it look updated. Let's talk about some things that could also use a little bit of extra updating you have in your home. Check this video out right over here, all about things that are aging your home and how to fix them. And I will see you over there.